welcome Francesca Campanelli, that is our guest today. She will tell us about her experience in this startup company, an Italian startup company based in the north of Italy that works with the artificial intelligence. The company is Axyon AI, and is an interesting case of success. We have just finished the part of the course related to the AI. So this talk comes at the right moment. I don't want to grab time to Francesca that will introduce herself, and also she will tell us something about her professional experience that brought her to be now the Chief Commercial Officer of Axyon AI. So Francesca, thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
And the floor is yours. And of course, at the end of the presentation, you will, the students will be able to raise questions and
sure.
Enough time to do. So thank you again, and please.
Thank you too. And yeah, I'm Francesca, and I would like just present myself. I spent all my career in the asset management industry with different roles. So from portfolio manager to sales, country manager, product development. And so I was very lucky to see from different perspectives the asset management industry. And so now I'm working at a startup with the aim to introduce artificial intelligence, and in particular deep learning methods in the asset management industry. That is actually a traditional industry where it's not so easy to introduce innovation and to do something in a different way. Well, I will share my screen. Just a second. No. Okay, this one. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, just a second. Okay. Better? Is it better? Okay, perfect. Okay. So I will start just telling you something about our company. Our company is a fintech company. So what does it mean? It means that there is a company that with the aim to use technology into the financial sector. So we have as target market the asset management industry, the financial sector in general, because as you can understand later on, our technology can be applied in very different segments and very different applications. This company was born in 2016. As probably you know, a startup can have a very long journey. So from the beginning, when there are just a few people with a great idea, no capital or few capital, and what they need a sponsor, they need someone, or not only someone, but a group of people that can trust the idea and can trust the people. So this is just the beginning to start with the startup. the most important ingredients for a startup are just three: people, capital, and network. And for Axyon, people, they were engineers and physicists coming from the University of Modena and Reggio Emilia, where there was one of the first lab specialized in AI. And this is thanks to a very innovative automotive industry in Modena, as probably you know, Ferrari, Maserati, and so on, and the ceramic industry, where there is very important to detect images. So this is one of the boosts that the University of Modena and Reggio Emilia leveraged to be in a region where is very supportive for this kind of initiative. Probably I didn't say that this company is based in Modena. Modena is in the north of Italy, close to Bologna, and is a very interesting region because is in some sense is a valley of excellence. So there are so many industries and with very important brands. And so this is one of the ingredients for the success of Axyon AI. The other one is capital. It's not very easy to find not only capital in terms of money, but the right capital, because when you start a startup, you need not only money, but you need supportive capital. So what does it mean? It means that you need people that can give you money, but they can understand your business, they can understand your objectives, and they can understand your technology. And this is not very easy, especially in Italy, where the supportive capital for startups is very fragmented. There are not so many venture capital funds, and we don't have just one center for startups like in France, like in UK, where Paris, London, or even in Spain, where Madrid is the center for startups. In Italy, we have different centers like Milan, where I live. We have Napoli, Rome. We have so different cities where you can, where there is a network for or an ecosystem for startups. And so Modena and Bologna is one of these centers. And the reason why is there are so many universities, because there is a University of Modena and Reggio Emilia, there is a University of Bologna, and there is a University of Parma. And they are very good universities. And there is a very good industry district. And this is very important. On the other hand, this region support. This is from an institutional point of view. This region support startups. The Emilia-Romagna region, how do you say, no? Anyway, have some funds to support startups. And so from time to time, we benefit from this. When we started this startup, after 1 year, we found an acceleration program sponsored by ING. ING is a Dutch bank, is a global bank, I mean. And so this is was the first step to become a company, a real company. And so they support us in the in structuring the company and giving us management advice, legal advice, and so on. And so in 2018, we found the first client. And so this was the second important step, because when you start, you don't know if your technology can have a market. So it's just a bet. And so in very few time, we found the first client that is still our client, that is a Japanese asset manager. Is called Nikko Global Wrap. And so we started with them with a very interesting project. So just from one pillar, and then we expanded, and now we have a full range of services that we offer to them. So speaking about our people, we are 15. Most of us are engineers and physicists with a global, a very different background and a global background. So they started their academic career, their educational in Modena or in Bologna or other Italian universities, and then they worked with the master in all over in especially in Europe, in Sweden, where there is a very good data scientist department, and in other European universities. And so we have a very talented team, and this allowed us to develop a proprietary technology to use artificial intelligence, and in particular deep learning, in a very complicated area that is the financial markets. Because if you use, I don't want to say that other applications are easier, but for sure the application of artificial intelligence and deep learning in financial markets is very difficult, because financial time series are very unstable with a lot of noise. So it's very difficult to do predictions and to have stable models. And so speaking about our network, as I mentioned before, we can leverage the University of Modena, and in particular the artificial intelligence labs. That is a very good lab specialized in image detection, and we use exactly the same technology to detect financial time series. So this is our application, and we have in our network we have a very important partners like NVIDIA. That is a very common, and to be honest, is a very common partner for technological startups. And yeah, we have Amazon Web Services. We have Microsoft, IBM, and Cineca. Cineca is a super computer that is based in Bologna. Bologna is part of the data valley that there is present in the Emilia-Romagna region. And so for us, it's very important to have high computational power, because we run a lot of models every day, every night, and so we need this. And as a startup, we cannot spend so much money to have our servers, and so we use cloud technology. And so we are connected with the Cineca computer, that is the Leonardo computer. I don't know if you are familiar with this, but is one of the most powerful computer in Europe, probably one of the 3 best computer in Europe. And we have some collaboration with other universities, like Politecnico di Milano, where we have some collaboration in terms of thesis and internship and so on and so forth. And we have a collaboration with Scuola Normale di Pisa and with the University of Bologna. And so this is a more sporadic relationship that we have. So sometimes we have some students coming from other universities that can propose us some project or something that we are working on, and so we can accept to collaborate for a PhD thesis, preferably, or for master degree thesis. And we prefer people coming from STEM universities in any case. And and there's always in terms of network, we have 2 important anchor investors that are ING, that, as I told you before, is the first investor that we had, and in 2018 there was the first capital injection from ING. And with ING we have a UniCredit that now they are our twins because they are both banks, retail banks. And they support us not only with capital, but also with management advice. They are part of our board of directors, and they are very close to our, especially in the strategic issues, not in the day by day issues, for sure. Which is this is just about our value proposition. When you manage a startup, it's very important to have a very clear value proposition. This is something that you can fine-tune during the first 2 or 3 years, but this is very important. So this is just a result about what you think, and which is your technology, your proposition in terms of technology, and which is the feedback from the market. So when you experience your first attempt to for the go-to-market, you can understand which is the response of the market to your technology. If the most important feedback is to understand how much the market is ready to accept your technology, or how much time do you need to introduce your technology. For this, if you are interested in understanding this kind of dynamics in the marketing of innovation, you can read a very interesting book that is from Moore, Geoffrey Moore, Crossing the Champs, that is very, very famous, and you can understand how much you have a cycle in your marketing proposition. But it's very important to understand as soon as possible your value proposition. And now we are in the we are a more mature startup. So with respect to the past, now we have a more mature proposition. So we want to be a true and trustable partner for our clients, our prospects. And so we don't want to educate our clients or educate our target market, understanding how much it's important to have this kind of technology, but we want to be the leader to introduce this technology. This is our, in some sense, is what we have in mind. So what we think that in the next future, and probably will be more closer than expected, there will be in the asset management industry, but in the financial industry, a revolution. So more than 20 years ago, the job, the main task in the financial industry were on the paper. So just to understand, if you wanted to understand a company, you started from analyzing balance sheet. There were paper balance sheet, or just reading a newspaper, or just so everything was on the paper. Then we experienced the first revolution in the financial sector, that were the Reuters and Bloomberg terminals, where you could find all the information about financial markets, so about the financial markets, companies, everything. And this was the first revolution. When I was a portfolio manager more than 20 years ago, and so Bloomberg terminal and the Reuters terminal, but for me more Bloomberg, but this was about my specific job and investment objectives. Bloomberg was where I could find all the needed information. And sometimes I used Bloomberg to do some elaborations, but this was more about Excel files. So all of us used the Excel file to download Bloomberg data. And this was very, very common. The most sophisticated tool was to do macros, to download the data and to have a very quick elaboration and to make decision, because when you are on markets, you need to do very quick assessment and to make a decision very quickly, because financial markets are instantaneous. And what we think that the next revolution will be the adoption of AI, and in particular deep learning. your professor thought for sure, we have two different, we have two different main areas for artificial intelligence that could be applied into financial sector. One is machine learning, deep learning, and the other one is NLP. We don't, in our company, we don't use NLP. This is something that we can change, but at the moment we don't use. We use only deep learning. Just a few words about our technology. To be realistic, our technology is just an intersection between AI, HPC, and big data. So this is the three main areas that contribute mostly to our technology. And as you can see from this slide, we for each of these big area, we have important partners, because otherwise it's impossible to do this. And for example, for HPC, that we use, as I told you before, Cineca, because it's the big computer, our big father, in some sense, our big dad. And NVIDIA, IBM, AWS, and Microsoft. In terms of AI, our main partner is the AI lab image of University of Modena and Reggio Emilia. And for big data, our main partner at the moment is Refinitiv, but this is something that will change very in the next few months, because we are using other sources for data. Data are very, very important for our company, because we use data and we provide data at the same time. What we do in just in a nutshell for asset managers. Here we use the asset management industry like just an example, but we can do exactly the same for investment banking, for trading desk, for many different institutions within the financial sector. We provide essentially prediction. So we provide data that are signals. So prediction based on deep learning models, and we provide strategies, and we can do this on the shelf. So we have a number of these investment universe, and so consequently signals and strategies for each set of signals. We can generate a number of strategies, and probably we can see these afterwards. And but we can do the same in a customized manner. What does it mean? That it means that a client can ask us to do something that is very specific for its objectives, like, for example, a completely different investment universe, very customized, and very, very customized investment strategy. And at the same time, something that we are developing, we are not ready, unfortunately. This will take some time, because it's not it's a little bit complicated, but our aim is to have a platform so we can offer what we use as auto machine learning platform directly to clients. So clients can use their own data, and they can run their models, and they can use it directly with our without our advice or our job. So this is what our platform is able to do. Our platform is Axyon Iris, is a kind of technology suite. So this is about how we structured our company. It's very important for a technology company to have a product that is not only an embedded technology, but this is something that is ready to use. Otherwise, it's very difficult to go to the market. And so we developed Axyon Iris, that is a very sophisticated platform. Is based on automated machine learning technology. So this means that the platform is able to select the machine learning models. So we put in the platform all the data, and they are engineered in terms of data set that is eatable in some sense from the machine, and the platform with the genetics algorithms is able to select the best deep learning models to make predictions. And so the final output of this process, this technological process, there are three different pillars. One is predictions. The other one is the detection of anomaly. That is an important tool, in some sense supportive for predictions and for strategy. And the third pillar is the strategy. So how you can use predictions to make a decision, and the final decision is a trading or investment strategy. This is just to have a look, a quick look to the platform. As you can see here, we have a number of European stocks. This is part of the Euro Stocks 50 index, and the output of the models are exactly the predictions. There are relative value predictions. So the prediction is just to say which is the probability of one asset to outperform another asset. And this probability can have a different horizon. Usually we use 1 month horizon, and in some cases we have also 1 week or 3 months horizon predictions. It depends on data that you are using. It depends on the objective or your predictions. Yeah, so this is the first output of the models, and this is just the prediction relative to performance with the in this case is a 1 week horizon. So we have a probability that is relative to the performance of each asset with respect to other assets. And so from this, it's possible to create a strategy that can leverage this prediction. The second, and just to give you some other important information, we have also an important tool in our platform. Two other important tools. So the first one is the market anomaly. Market anomaly, we do anomaly detection based on supervised learning. So our models are able to detect non-linear anomalies in our data. We use this tool in very different applications. For example, there is one of our client that is a market regulator, market maker, and they use our tool to detect anomalies in the price of options that they are, and we use the same tool also in our platform to understand if there are some non-linear anomalies. The other important tool that we have on our ranking, our prediction, is about the forecast drivers. So we use game theory to have insights about which are the main drivers for the predictions. So, for example, as you can see on the right side of the slide, we have sector, momentum, fundamentals, and risk as they are our input variables, and so we can say that, for example, in this case, the sector is one of the main drivers for that prediction, and this change for each of the asset, and so we can understand how the models are thinking at that moment. And then with these rankings, we are able to create different strategies. We can create long-short strategies. We can create long-only strategies. We can create different long-only strategies with different portfolio construction rules. And in our platform, you have not only the performance of the strategy, but you have a number of insights. So if the strategy is doing better than expected or not so good, and we have the list of traits that you have to implement if you are using this platform. This is just another example. This is a long-short strategies based on Euro Stoxx 50. What we do in this case, we have the first 10 stocks that in the ranking, so the top 10 stocks that are long position, and the bottom 10 stocks that are short position of the strategy. And this is a strategy that is live. So there is a part of the graph that is relative to the track record based on out of sample test, and the other one is live. So this is just what the models are predicting. So I would like just to focus a little bit on ESG investments. I know that for your class is important this perspective on investments. As you know, now especially with respect to 10 or 15 years ago, we have a huge amount of data related to ESG. I experienced a very different environment in the financial markets, where this kind of rating were absolutely unknown and not used. Today is completely different. So we have so many data, we have so many sources. There are so many data providers that offer you different way to rate companies based on what they do, or what they want to do, or what their projects. So it's not easy when you do investments. So when you make decision based on your knowledge, and your main aim is just to make money for your clients, is not easy to understand what does it mean ESG score, and which is the predictive power of this data. So we gathered this challenge, and so what ESG investors want to demonstrate is that ESG compliant companies can outperform their peers in the next future. And so we have a different definition about environmental, social, and governance. So we can use a lot of data about this. So what we did, as a first step, we selected a number of companies that are compliant with some of most common criteria ESG, that is based on the MSCI methodology. And so we selected the MSCI Europe SRI, that is just an index with more than 100 securities. And this is a very high quality score, because it's not only based on ESG, but also with some exclusion criteria. And then what we did, we use in our models as input variables not only our standard data, like technical indicators, fundamental indicators, exchange rates, and macroeconomic indicators. We have in general, we use specific data and context data, so relative to the context. And we use also ESG indicators relative to each of the companies that are in our investment universe. We use our platform, and as a result, we built up different strategies. But here I would like just to focus on two of these. One is the ESG enhanced index strategy, and the other one is the top 30, is a long only strategy. Why we want to compare these two different studies? Because the first one is just to use the same number of companies, so the same companies of the MSCI Europe SRI, where we have an index based on the market capitalization, and we substituted the market capitalization with our predictions. So we use the same, our predictions, so our ranking as the vector, the vector of the index, just to understand how much our models are predictive and how much ESG data can add some values in terms of predictions. These predictions are with a time horizon of 60 days. So there are 3 months because there are 60 business days. So just to skip the two. This is the ESG long-only strategies. So it's the first one is just an enhancement of the index. So here we have the same, as I told you before, we have the same constituents of the index with different weights. And as you can see from this graph, there is a higher Sharpe ratio, and so the strategy is better than the index. So what doesn't it means? It means that there is some predictive power in the ESG data. The second one is top 30 strategy. So we selected just the top 30 companies in our rankings, and we equally weighted the portfolio. So each company has the same weight. And as you can see, we have a much better Sharpe ratio with respect to the index. Yeah, this is just a way to use ESG data and to understand how much they can have a predictive power in a deep learning, using deep learning models. With respect to other, I don't know, risk factor models or traditional econometrics model, here you can find hidden relationship between variables, where in the financial markets are very, very, very important because when you have, with respect to traditional models, where you a priori you have to select a relationship between variables, so you have to guess that, for example, a variables can have some impact on your output variables. Here you can avoid this because there are the deep learning networks that can select and then can understand in a nonlinear way the relationships between variables that are no more correlation, but there are relationships based on the connection in terms of the neural networks. And so this is a step forward in understanding the complexity of financial markets, where you have relationships that are not so stable. You have correlation that are so true during I don't know 5-6 years, and then they disappears completely, and so it's not so easy to deal with. Yeah, so this is just a few of our successful stories. More than success, there are successful stories for sure, but more importantly, there are some applications of our technology with a success for our clients. As I mentioned before, one of the first clients is Nikko Global Wrap. They are still our clients, and with them we have a number of strategies that we provide them, and they use for tactical asset allocation both a multi-asset model and a Forex overlay model. We launched a Euro-Govis strategies that is based on Euro-Govis indexes with different buckets of duration, 2 years, 5 years, and 10 years. And again, here we have a very good Sharpe ratio that is very good, especially with respect to this market where performance are very thin. Equity long short, commodity trading, market anomaly detection. Here we have the example with the Cassa Compensazione Garanzia, that is a clearinghouse in Italy for Borsa Italiana. And we provide them market anomaly tools for the option pricing, and we are exploring to use this also for fixed income securities and equities. Now we are using market anomaly detection for a crypto asset. We have a partnership with Definity, that is a ECN, so Exchange Communication Network, that is a kind of electronics exchange, and we provide the market anomaly on 6 different crypto assets, and the results are very, very good. Next year, probably we will expand this market anomaly detection tool to other 6 different crypto assets to have a set of 12 crypto assets, and probably we will have a market anomaly detection based on hourly data, because now they are daily data. Forex tactical overlay, again, we use relative value Forex rankings to produce a overlay strategy for different kind of portfolios. Yeah, here our team, so very young, very young team. We have a number of advisors also to support us here for business reasons and for academic reasons. Some of our awards and press release, and yeah. Yeah, I complete my presentation. Very happy to answer your question. I will see your, just a second, if there are some questions on the.
Thank you very much, Francesca. If you, I'm talking with the students, if you think that we agreed a lot about this presentation, it is not true, because we talked just 5 minutes yesterday, but the presentation was really inspiring and touched all the points that we have seen so far during the course. So it is perfectly aligned with what we said so far. If there are questions, you can raise question over your mic or writing in the chat. Okay, Francesca, can you see the chat?
Yeah. Did you have a private platform, or could you be connected to already existing platform for trading? We don't execute, so we don't have a trading execution platform. So our platform is just to make predictions and strategies, and then we provide these to our clients. The reason why we don't have a trading platform is because it's highly regulated exercise or task, and so we don't want. So we give this joy to to our clients to execute trades.
Other questions? Curiosities? Don't be shy. Yeah.
I have suppose I receive an offer from a startup to work with them. How can I understand whether the startup is going to fail or not? You know, have a period in which they can easily fail. Are there some data I can rely on to understand this? Usually this is for investors and for any kind of investors, so individual investor, angel investors, venture capital. Usually startups can have a balance sheet, and they have some projections on the balance sheet. It's important to see when they have an EBITDA positive, so above 0. If this will be in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, this is very important. And the other important item is, I think, people. If you see people that can be very young, this is not important, but be with very clear ideas and with a good a structure company, so small but structure, the probability of success is higher for sure. Thank you. How much more or less the investment for setup for the AI and deep learning machine? Also the cost of energies for running machines. It depends. It depends on which kind of technology do you use. We use very heavy models. So we use and just to have an idea. It's very difficult to have to spend less than 200,000 euros in computational power if you run deep learning. It's not the cost of energies, because it is just one cost, because you don't have your own server, so you have to rent through the cloud, but in
you pay per use.
Exactly, and the cost is. But at the same time, you can find some grants, so or some good projects that you can do. There is the European Commission that is very supportive on this. So, yeah.
Yeah, there are some, let's say, also public computational facilities.
Exactly, exactly.
But anyway, if you go to see the AWS pricing model is extremely complex.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we are partners of AWS. So and we have a very good relationship with them, and so we can use the machines very often. And at the same time, they appreciate a lot our job, because we are able to use the computational power, and in some sense we can test the machines, and so we have you are lucky, but we have a very good. The same is for example, we are connected to the supercomputer of Leonardo company. They have in Genova, they have a
Huge.
fantastic, yeah, fantastic. I visit them 2 months ago, and it's a fantastic place, fantastic people, and so they need to use this computational power. So to have a relationship with us, a partnership in this case, for them is very important. And more importantly is to use their computational power to do something for their company. That is something that for sure will do. Or for sure, hopefully.
Good. Any other question?
I don't know if Francesco, tell me frankly if I have to cover other aspects.
No.
Or that
yeah. The presentation was perfect.
I don't know if there are some topics important
for
your class.
If there are the curiosities from the students, otherwise, of course, we can stop here. I'm recording this session, so I will put the recording in the shared area of the course, so you can also go back in the video and see again the most interesting point that you can find out. Also, because they are working on most of them, at least, are working on project work that is to simulate the establishment of a startup.
Okay.
So of course a tech startup, and hopefully a startup that is also engaged with ESG aspects. So this is the reason why I said that the presentation was really inspiring, because you talk about what value proposition, you talk about competencies, and of course you touch the more technical aspects of the AI and the deployment of AI in so complex field like the financial. So if there are no more questions, we say hello to Francesca. We thank you really again, Francesca, to be here with us. And it was after about 20 years, it was a nice reunion. We were young researchers in Tor Vergata many years ago.
Yes. Yes.
Now sometimes passed, but anyway, Francesca, she's always brilliant as usual. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Would Francesca mind to share a contact for future inquiries? Yes, of course. I think she can.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, my email address.
Of course, the email, but she's on LinkedIn, so
yeah, you can reach me. Absolutely.
Reach Francesca Campanelli on LinkedIn.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Bye
you.
-bye.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Bye bye. Ciao. Ciao.
Ciao.